These are all-stars. This is TNT. This is the NBA. This is ESPN. Put your team jersey on and represent your team. Stop with the yellow, the green, the orange, all them different colors versus blue and white.
Hey y'all, this is Nothing Lightly. We back with another episode. I'm C's and this is Deasia. DD, we about to get into it. This one is going to be a fun one. We capping off this All-Star weekend. It's halfway underway with Saturday night being the night of the notorious three-point shooting contest. Hopefully the dunk contest give us something better. And then the skills challenges, they still doing it. And then we going to kick off Sunday with the infamous All-Star game. So the NBA really has to pick it up from the last few years, actually the last almost 10 years, but more to that. This is Nothing Lightly. This is a sports podcast where we talk about all things sports, not just basketball. Anything that comes across your news, we covering it. We are very opinionated. You're not going to get a lot of facts. So if you're here for a fact, you need to leave quickly because we're about to give our opinion. So, you should come with the first little part. What are we talking about? What's up?
So today we're going to be talking about the All-Star game, of course. Then we're going to talk about Unrivaled. And they had their All-Star game, kind of like their little All-Star weekend. I don't want to call it little because it was a big deal. So the big huge All-Star weekend from Unrivaled, or, just the All-Star week really from them. Then we're going to end up talking about where's the NBA going? Who has the most to prove after these big trades? Which team is going to use this All-Star break as a momentum boost? And they going to come off strong. So we not going to hold y'all too long, starting right out with the All-Star weekend. We got, of course, the three-point contest, the dunk contest, the skills challenge. Over the years, this has all changed. It used to be the simple East versus West, where the teams would wear their jerseys. Then we turned into wearing the red and the blue. Then we turned into like yellow and blue, all different colors. Now they have changed this game into a team from the Rising Stars Challenge, which was played last night. A team won, and now they get to play in this 4-team tournament with the All-Stars. So they got something to prove. And so each of the games are played to 40 points in a tournament fashion.
Right. So going off of Unrivaled, they came in, the whole last few weeks have been like, it has skyrocketed expectations. It has been so entertaining. It has been such a huge moment in women's basketball, but women's sports in general. It's just been, like, we've been talking about it. We talked about it on another show in detail about the style of the play, what is brought into the game because of it, why it's fun to watch. But let's kind of mention, Deasia, is this something that the NBA should adapt? Did they kind of do this? Was somebody watching this and said, hey, this is working well, let's try this? Or, hey, this is what they're going to do in Unrivaled, let's try this? Because look, remember that last NBA All-Star game? Kind of left us hanging. But when we go a few months later, when we had the WNBA All-Star game and they played the Olympic team, that was fun. I mean, that was fun to watch from a fan's perspective. Even though the Olympians end up losing, they was out there competitively. The rookie and sophomore team, they was coming to play. It wasn't just a rookie and sophomore team. It was the select team that was All-Stars. But they was coming out there to play. They had beat them. And it was good. It was fun to watch. It was much better than the NBA. Did they take something of that and bring that now to the NBA?
I think they kind of did. You can consider that the Rising Stars, these are people that's coming up in the league. Usually, traditionally, after a couple of years, you end up seeing them in the All-Star. Not all of them, but a handful of them, maybe several of them will go on to become All-Stars. So it's a good introduction to what the All-Star game is. It's just that over these last years, not just the last 5 years, just over the course of the NBA, the All-Star game has intentionally changed every single year in some type of way. Whether that's making it better or worse, we don't know. I mean, we're just fans. We could say our opinion later, but as of right now, we're just stating the facts that the game has changed. There are now 3 different games with 4 different teams. But one of those teams that's in it that makes it so, interesting now, I would say, is the Rising Stars, and they just played last night. And that team, they are a group of young guys, and they get to go on and they get to play against LeBron, KD, Steph Curry. So that was similar to what the WNBA All-Star game was, because it just so happened that those players that was making an all-star team, a lot of them were young. They was like second and first year players. But they were playing against the Olympic team. So the Olympic team is traditionally like, you had Sabrina on there, you had Asia Wilson, you got Nafisa on there, you got Stewie on there. But on the All-Star team was Angel Reese. You got Caitlin Clark. You have Aaliyah Boston. Those are the people that
let's not.
Yeah, Arike. And she's not a new player. So you still got some older players. So that's the difference between the WNBA and the NBA. But I still think they got something from that. That game, the WNBA All-Star game, was much more exciting as far as competitiveness. Now, you're not going to see somebody dunking over the rim. So if you're coming to watch that type of basketball, that's just not the WNBA. You may see a dunk or two. If that's just not what the WNBA is made of. But that game was interesting because it was competitive. They wanted to prove that they could make that Olympic team. Arike was proving that she could make that she should have been on that Olympic team. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were proving that they will eventually be on that Olympic team. Like, that was a great performance. It only comes around 4 years. So that means next time, this was a great platform for them to show that when you're trying to recruit for the Olympic team next time, don't leave my name off the list, because remember, I just beat your Olympians. So that means in some weird world, if we was living on Mars, that these players on this all-star team could go down and they could have went to the Olympics and they could have won a gold medal. They probably could have at least won top 3, I would think. But again, they're rookies, but they're also all-stars. They're really good players. And that's what the NBA is trying to show now. That, yeah, we got some rising stars, but they also are going to be all-stars, and they could be all-stars now. So if they go out and beat one of these teams, it's going to be the same episode of what we saw with the WNBA, where the All-Stars beat the Olympic team. What is the difference? They basically said, like, this All-Star team could be the Olympic team. And if the Rising Stars go and beat one of these NBA All-Star teams, that's just showing that it's the NBA All-Star game. It's either 2 things. Is it rigged? Because we already know they're not playing their hardest. Or is it 2? These guys also could be All-Stars.
Well, it's going to be interesting. As a veteran, as an All-Star, you don't want to be beat by a Rising Star. So I think that they're moving in the right direction. I don't know the last time the All-Star game has been what we expect it to be. It used to be where they playing defense. I was watching a marquee game where they was playing back 2007 All-Star in Las Vegas. And it was fun because they were playing defense. It was like a 20-point deficit, but the West was up, which traditionally the West is a little bit better, but I mean, they were playing defense. They was trying to get back in the game. We don't even see that. Now you see them shooting the ball. Somebody's in the corner shooting the ball, and you got everybody standing in the paint like we playing a V, like we playing 21. That's just not fun to watch. Why is it that, and I'm not taking nothing away from the W. It is an amazing game. It's very competitive, and it's so entertaining to watch. But why is it that their All-Star game was so much more exciting than the men? And to be honest, it's not even a surprise, because the men it's getting watered down. And I'm not saying that these are not All-Stars. Yes, they are All-Stars. But when they come to play on the night of the All-Star game, they do not bring their best foot. They don't show their game. We don't see an All-Star performance. It's like just making a team for the notoriety, but you don't give the fans that. And as fans, we miss that. The All-Star break used to be one of my favorite times in sports all year. It was something to look forward to.
Yeah, and it was legendary because you know that the players on it, they earned it. We not saying now that they didn't earn it. Fine, they earned it. We give them that. But it's just they would show why they earned it. They would go out there and play hard against. It's like a matchup that you didn't get to see all the time. Like you could see Kobe and LeBron playing against each other in one-on-one situations. When you got Kobe and LeBron, of course, there's Gasol on the floor. Of course, there's somebody else on the floor that's kind of getting in the way of that strictly one-on-one matchup. The All-Star was like supposed to be, get out the way, let's go one-on-one. It will give you like one-on-one scenarios without the one-on-one. But now, nobody is playing one-on-one. It's just go straight to the basket. We're going to move out the way. Everybody clear it out. In fact, not only do you clear it out, the other team go clear it out as well. We're doing an ISO and it's just me. And I'm going right to the basket and I'm going to go dunk. Or ISO, I'm going to stand from the logo and I'm going to shoot like Clayton Clark and nobody's going to guard me. Oh, and I'm going to make it. And I'm going to make it 3 and 4 times in a row. How many? I don't want to keep seeing that. Yeah, we know you all can shoot. Thank you. Let's see something else. Let's see some defense. Let's see somebody play some defense. Because those people, guess what? There's been some people that play defense that make the All-Star team too. How do we say, why did Joakim Noah make the All-Star? He doesn't score a lot. He made it because he played. Draymond. I could keep saying his name. Draymond. He does not score a lot. And if he is, he shouldn't be. That's not his role. Why did he make the All-Star? Because of all those other little things he did. He probably scored 10 points, maybe 12. I'll give him 15 at the most. I don't want Draymond scoring 20. That's not the reason why he made an All-Star. It's because that team is undeniably better with him on it. They were better with him on it. What was he doing? Playing defense. He didn't even play defense in the All-Star game. Why do people, it's like now they're just we're okay with just making it. Why don't you make it and then you prove to us why you're an all-star, why us as fans chose you? Because it's getting boring. So I hope this year, this rising star, they put pressure on them and they make it more fun. And I don't want to bash the NBA because I love the NBA and I love basketball. I think the all-star game is great. It just is turning the page to being not as great as it was. That's the issue. It was better than this, and we want to get it back to where it was better, where it was good, it was fun to watch. It's not fun to watch anymore. I can, like, turn the All-Star game on, oh, that's playing. And I can really get more fun out of watching the highlights, because that's really all it is. I want to see somebody play some defense, and this is stuff that sometimes don't hit the highlight reel, because you don't see a lot of defensive highlights out there. Unless it's just an all-time defensive player. But I want to see some good defense, and those are moments that you can only catch from watching a game, but we don't get to see that all the time. We haven't seen it for the last 2-3 years. I don't care how much you're going to get all this money to send into the foundation for the winning team. Oh, we're going to do this with the score. They didn't change the score scenario several times, but now this time they've changed the tournament. So let's see if a team is just worried about getting knocked off, because maybe a team want to play 2 in a row. But it starts with somebody like LeBron. It starts with Steph. I think if they go out there and they play lackadaisical, everybody else is. But I'm just going to say this one thing, and then we can move on to another topic with this. I understand why they do it, but I don't like it. I understand that they probably don't want to get hurt because it may ruin their chances of going on to making a championship run. I get that. But the fans want to see you play well. You all-stars. You 20-something guys that were chosen. Just play your best for this one game. Yes, I know that you can get hurt. But just play a little bit more defense, please. That's all I got to say about that.
That's interesting that you say that. Because I'm thinking about when we saw Paul George go down when it was like the Olympic exhibition. Do you think that contributed? Because that was years ago, but that was kind of around the time when this is starting to flatten out. Do you think injuries, moments like that, contributed to what we're seeing now in these all-star exhibition games?
Yeah, I do believe that. And that's why I want to take away, like, yes, I'm saying a lot of things about the NBA, and I wish it would be better, but I'm not a player, and I can't be in the mind of a player. But if I were a player, I would understand that you would be a little cautious about getting hurt. And I know these injuries are rough. These are not just like that injury that Paul George suffered was not just like a simple ankle sprain. That was a tough injury. It was a season-ending injury. He couldn't come back right away from that. If that were to happen in an all-star game, I think that's the reason why they don't play defense, because they are trying to prevent those moments. But I got to ask the question. what do you do in practice? Like, do you practice this way? Don't you treat the All-Star as if it was like a elevated practice? You know, you heard stories about when the Olympic team, like the Dream Team, would go and they would play college guys, and they would just, I'm pretty sure they didn't want to lose to like college players, because this was back when Michael Jordan was playing. They wanted to play their best to show that this is why you're not in the NBA. This is why you're not on the Dream Team. You get what I'm saying, Sierra? And that was just practice. So I'm pretty sure, like, even if you look at like Black Ops, when you see what like Chris Brickley is doing, he takes those players and these are all-stars. This is LeBron, this is Melo, these is all these players, you know, these are your all-stars, and KD, these are still your all-stars, but they play harder than that, but we get less than that. And this is TNT, this is the NBA, this is ESPN, but we still don't get that. So I would say maybe at least treat it like a practice. I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's some drills where you just shooting around, you just match up, you let them kind of do their moves, but I would assume that some practices, I would hope that the NBA, they practice hard at some point. I would hope that they don't use the games as their practice. Why don't you use the All-Star as your practice? And I get you don't want to get hurt, but at least play a quarter hard and not the fourth. Maybe play 2 quarters hard, not just the fourth, because yeah, they turn it up in the fourth, but it's too late. We've already watched 3 quarters of terrible basketball.
Last year, they didn't even do that. That's what they had been doing previous years. They didn't even do that last year.
Maybe this shorter game where they're only playing 40 points, it will make them play harder from the beginning.
So that's...
And they don't have enough time to like say, oh, we're not going to play defense. Like, you got to come out there playing some D. It's only 40 points. A player himself can get 40 points.
So do you think, this is my question, and it's kind of twofold. Do you think this is going to work? Because they have tried different things over the past few years, changing the style, the points, all of that. Do you think this 4-game tournament, this 3-game tournament will work? And then do you think that, are they going to come out and do what they should, or are they going to just sabotage it, and we just going to get whoever, the one team that actually tried? Do you think everybody is going to really buy into this?
I think that they will. If LeBron and Steph buy into it, like your vets, if they buy into it, I think it will. Now, will I be surprised if that rising star ends up winning? No, I won't. I won't be surprised, because it could happen if those teams, like, they just go down and they don't play hard, and you look up, they only got to win 2 games. It's not like they got to win 10 games. You get what I'm saying? It's not that much. But so it's not going to be that difficult. Would I be surprised if they win? No. And honestly, do I think the All-Stars are going to be upset about it? No. But what happened with the Olympics and the W and their All-Star, you could tell the Olympians were upset because they cared a little bit more. They had that like, oh no, why are we going to the Olympics?
They showed clips of Diana Taurasi talking to the team in a huddle like, we can't, in other words, we can't take this down to Paris. We can't take this to Paris.
And you can tell they were not happy with them losing. You know, that didn't look good for them. But honestly, I think if LeBron and them lost, if these All-Stars lose, I don't know if every single one of them are going to be upset. I think they're going to be a little congratulatory, but I don't think upset is going to be on their mind, because they're not going to think twice about it. And that's where the NBA is going. What they should do is they just need to all play defense, and they need to go back. I don't know if this 4-game is going to solve the issues of them playing harder. They could go to the simple way. They should just go back old school. Put your team jersey on and represent your team well. Stop with the yellow, the green, the orange, all them different colors versus blue and white. Put your team jersey on and represent your team well. I think that's what it used to be. That those players would go represent their team well, because it was like one All-Star. It changed. A lot of this changed when Golden State had 5 players, All-Stars.
Right. And I remember it used to be a thing. Remember when the Pistons, they had they championship team, and most of them were All-Stars, and they deserved it, rightfully so. But at that time, you still had the competitiveness in an All-Star. It wasn't like it is now, like you just have a team of the Warriors playing against All-Stars. You had the Pistons, but they were still playing hard, because it was like still a thing of notoriety. Like, some of them for the first time had made that team. Go back and you remember that. Prince, for the first time, like, you had these players for the first time making it. So I just wish that competitive, and this is from a fan's perspective. We love to watch this. It has normally been such an exciting moment in the NBA season that we just miss what it used to be. Because it was a good, like, okay, now I can't wait to the rest of the season. Instead of now, like, this has interrupted the season. That's what it's kind of like.
That's what it's becoming, an interruption. And it's nothing. Honestly, if the NBA don't want to change it, do I think it's going to hurt it? No, I don't think it's not affecting the NBA. That's not reason why their numbers are going down. That All-Star has not got nothing to do with that. So if they don't change it, we're still going to watch them because we just love great basketball. We love the NBA. We're still going to watch it. And there's other fans that love it even more than us. Who knows?
But what it is if you're a new fan to the NBA, it hasn't always been like this. It used to be like really fun, crazy. I mean, we've been, Deasia. It was huge.
Yeah, why don't you talk about that moment when you got to go in 2007? Talk about that.
Yeah, it's funny because I was just watching a game and I was actually there in the stadium. I was so young as a kid, I didn't take it in. Like, because the stadium, it was exploding. Like, the energy, even being in Vegas at that time as a kid. Like, you like, wow, it was all of these exhibits, all of these pop-ups, right, Deasia? Basically, anything you can think of related to basketball. You can meet this player, you can do this. It was exciting. So imagine that whole weekend when you actually go into the arena. It was exploding. But it was competitive, right? And I think that's what the fans are missing now. Like, I don't know I'm sure Golden State, any city that you go to that is hosting, it probably does bring that outside, as far as you are going to get those pop-ups. You are going to get the fandemonium experience. You're going to get that. But the game is where, like, the big event is lacking. That's what it is. And the big event, the anticipation in Vegas in 2007, it was like, wow, I can't wait for this game. I can't wait for the dunk contest. It's like everywhere you went, it was something else about basketball. So imagine now being in San Francisco and you're talking about basketball. I can't wait. And then you get there and it's like, this is it. It wasn't like that. It used to, like, exceed your expectations. That's what I'm trying to say. So it was like a dream come true to go there, to experience that. How was it for you, DH, just to be a part of that and to be so close to a lot of the players, to be in a building?
Well, as a young kid, I think just like being able to go to the fan experience, that's a moment that you kind of never forget. And I'm there supporting you, Sierra. You being able to play in that junior WNBA, I think that was amazing. But on the other side, I don't look back on that now, and I don't take it lightly, because I got to experience something that a lot of kids didn't get to see. Like, I went to an All-Star weekend. No, I didn't get to go to the game like you, but it was cool for me to know that you was at the game watching it. Me and our younger brother Elijah, we got to go to all the fan stuff, and there's just anything that you could think about basketball. Like, me and Elijah going to play so many games against each other, and we're hearing from you these stories of, oh, I got to practice, I got to, like, I took a picture with Yao Ming, all these. I don't want to name drop on this show, but I'm just saying, like, that's, to me, I was so proud of you, Sierra, and it's something that I will never forget. And just us, we loving basketball so much, and it's just been a part of our life. It's kind of like when somebody talk about loving basketball, that's what it meant for me. Like, that moment. We're just those kids that if you tell us something about D-Wade, oh, D-Wade is playing, LeBron is playing, yeah, I want to go. And just knowing that you was there, Sierra, you able to watch the dunk contest, all these different things that a kid that loves basketball that's just trying to...
Yeah, it's like their dream. It's their dream come true. So...
it's just something that you cannot put into words. And any kid that loves the game, they would love to be in that moment. And I want that for kids these days. Like, I hope they're doing so many more things like that. I know in Cleveland just last year with the March Madness coming here, they did that with the fans, fan experience. Yeah, they did amazing with that. Like, it was huge. You got all these companies buying into this one place, like State Farm, ESPN, Home Depot, but just letting kids just learn how to shoot. They going around, doing dribbling drills, taking pictures like they part of the team. That's what basketball is about. That's what the All-Star brings. And this was March Madness. So the NBA should be doing it bigger than that. And they was doing it big in 2007. So I can't imagine what they're doing now. Yeah. But what they doing now with the game, we just want it to be be like how it was. Like, just go represent your team and play a little defense.
Play hard and give the fans what they want. Give us a good game. That's what it was all about. Like, the main event was what we all been waiting for, and we was excited to see the walkout, to see the moment where they announcing a team, to the tip off, to the MVP is announced. Like, from start to finish, it used to be exciting. So just bring that back to the game. We know that the NBA, y'all probably doing it big with the fan experience, I'm sure, with the interaction, things the NBA is still, it's growing. And plus with social media, plus with the stadiums becoming more interactive, I can't imagine how San Francisco is right now. But the game itself, the main event, just please give us something this year. So we're hoping.
And with that, we're doing this episode before that game is going to happen. We're going to do another episode and be like, you know what? We was wrong. They played hard this time. So that's what we want to do. But right now, this is before that. So that's what we wanted to let y'all know. Now, taking a different turn of things, since we just talked about the All-Star game itself, but what about the dunk contest, Sierra? Any dunkers in there that you looking forward to seeing?
Well, I don't really know who's dunking. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't look that up. I got to go back and do my research on that. But the dunk contest is another of those contests in the All-Star weekend that has flattened out. It used to be exciting. It used to be very creative. Now it's like, I don't know. It's always been talent. I mean, Vince Carter still has the most iconic and well-known dunk ever. Him outside of Jordan, right? But I think the dunk contest has kind of like, it's been, I don't want to say regular, because the fact that you can dunk and your head is above the rim, that's, the average person can't do that. But it's just not as exciting. I don't know what it is that it just kind of, I'd rather see the 3-point contest.
Well, I mean, yeah, we'll get to the 3-point contest, but you know the one guy that won last year, and I think the year before that, I think this will be his third time winning in a row if he does win, the Mac McClung from the Orlando Magic. He's coming back, and they asked him, are you going to do it another time after this year? And he said no, because he's going to run out of dunks. So this is going to be his last time. You could just talk about quickly just the impact of maybe he's going to win 3 times in a row.
I would hope somebody would have some competitiveness and be like, you're not about to win this competition 3 times in a row. That's just the spirit of basketball. I would hope that we have someone else. But you know what the question is? Why didn't we ever see it from LeBron? Why was he never in the dunk contest? Is it a lot of your stars, your favorite stars? If y'all didn't know, he is me and Deaja's favorite player. Did we kind of miss out on not having him in a dunk contest? I mean, it's others. Paul George, why didn't he ever do it? It's just other dunkers that are electrifying. I don't think Westbrook ever did it, you know.
And yeah, it'd be good to see. Why John Morant wasn't in it now. I mean, 2 people that I'm looking forward to.
Anthony Edwards. Why?
Well, maybe they scared of playing against this Mac McClung. Maybe they want to let him get 3 in a row. I don't know. But the dunk contest, Sierra, I'm interested in it because I still want to see if somebody going to get a true 50 points, a 50-point score, because sometimes we see them just give a 50 and it don't deserve a 50. So I always like to see that. Maybe on our next episode we could talk about, do we see any true 50s? If y'all see some true 50s, let us know in the chat, because we want to talk about those. Because I've seen some fake 50s. To me, it's still no better dunk contest. I mean, we got to go to the Vince Carter. We got to go to the MJ from the free throw line. But then you got to put in that battle with Zach LaVine. Come on now, Sierra. 2 players going head to head. The 50s are going back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe they'll give us something.
So Aaron Gordon, I just still think that was one of the craziest.
And
dunks.
you know what's something?
He jumped over the guy, Sierra, like legs out. That's hard to do, keeping your legs straight. He did that on the dunk in the air. It's not just him. Like, if we do something like that, we just jumping a little bit off the ground. Imagine him jumping high enough so he can dunk, to jump over somebody. Like, this is kind of like them, like, cheerleader type dunks, but his legs are straight, Sierra. That's still crazy to me. And then when he grabs the ball and spins into a 360, like his dunks was just crazy. I think that year they should have both won. And really, if I want to be truthful, I really like Aaron Gordon's dunks more than Zach LaVine, but that one I'll never forget. So I want to see is there going to be any other true 50s like that dunk contest, because I think that one was electrifying.
But that show you that must have been, I remember it too, but that was probably the last good one outside of the Nate Robinsons in the past like 10, 12 years. The reason why, because you can remember it. The dunkers last year, no diss, but I don't remember it. The year before that, don't remember it. So,
well, Sarah, I just reminded you, McClung.
I didn't watch it, or I don't remember it. I'm saying, you know what the one I remember? Superman, Dwight Howard.
And he didn't dunk the ball, though. He threw it in there.
Well, I mean, he's a 7-footer. They don't jump anyway, so. But it's the creativity with that. It don't have to be the dunk. It's the creativity.
See, it's the dunk. When you get in a true 50, it got to be the dunk. It cannot. I don't care about all that creativity. MJ used to dribble the ball. Now they're running up. He was still acting like he was playing.
In the game,
Yeah, so I
agree on that.
The most creative we're going to see is what Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine did. I don't think anybody is, because they were still dunking. They weren't throwing the ball in and getting away with it. Dwight Howard got away with throwing the ball in. He put a cape on him and reached out, and if you look, I don't think his arm ever touched the rim. He kind of threw it in. That's not a dunk. And he got, did he get a true 50 on that?
What I remember is him throwing that ball in, and you're right, he did put on his cape, but he's a 7-footer. So,
Sarah, a 7-footer, I don't care if you 5 feet, 7 feet, 10 feet, you gotta dunk the ball.
Well, anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the 3-point contest. Is Steph in it again? What are we looking like?
3-point contest. Let's talk about the last one before we talk about this one. Let's talk about last.
Okay, let's talk about Sabrina. Yeah, I was just hearing something. This is kind of interesting. Sabrina, she's not coming back this year, right? And doing it. Yeah, I think she declined it. They asked Caitlin Clark, and she declined it. So we'll talk about that. But last year was huge for the W. Let's just say that. It was huge. And, I mean, it was exciting. You want to see if Steph is able to shoot and streak like this, keep shooting and shooting, and that's hard to do. You on a shot clock, and then the ball is placed. You're not getting a pass. The ball is placed, and you don't have a lot of time to grab the ball and shoot, put up shots. So, but the fact that Sabrina was able to come out and represent women that we can do this too. We can shoot on shot clock. We can shoot in a hurry, just like you all can. Shout out to her. Still an awesome scorer, awesome shooter.
Well, back to what we're saying. I want to talk about, just quickly, Caitlin Clark saying no. I was listening to Sue Bird and Megan, and I really liked their podcast, and I was listening to what they were saying, and I really agree with what they saying. Like, this is the first time in the WNBA where a player is able to not have to want to do, like, they don't have to do something. Usually that's what I wanted to get to as well earlier, the history of the All-Star. And that's why this episode, to me, like, some people can be like, why did y'all do an episode all about the All-Star? Because there's so much history with it for the NBA. The All-Star game used to be what All-Star weekend was, where they would invite the WNBA. Like, it wasn't just about the NBA All-Star. It was the WNBA. They didn't have an All-Star game because obviously they weren't in season, but they would come and they would mingle, intertwine with the NBA's All-Star weekend. You would see, like, the skills challenge. They would have, like, a WNBA All-Star was always on it, or a legend from the WNBA. And it'll be like an old-timer as well, like that could be like Charles Barkley or somebody. It was always, they were intertwining. So that's the history. Now the All-Star weekend has got away from that. So that's why we're talking about the WNBA now. And this was the first time where Sue Bird and Megan was saying, this was the first time that a WNBA player has said, no, I don't have to do this. Usually it's like, okay, yeah, you want us to do it. This is going to do nothing but boost the W. But now, what does Caitlin Clark get for shooting against Steph Curry? What does Sabrina gain from that? You know, it's basically like saying the W, we can stand alone now. We don't need to do this. Like, that doesn't do anything for Caitlin Clark at this moment. And I really think that that's amazing for women, that you just get the option for the first time in basketball history, as far as the W, that you can say, no, I'm not doing an All-Star game.
But what is significant about it is, when she does do this, when she makes her debut into the 3-point contest, she will do it in Indiana when the Fever host the WNBA All Star.
And that's what's
So
gonna make it better.
that's the significance of it. She's bringing this introduction to her league, not the NBA, because they're good. She's bringing it to the W, who's also rising. Its growth in the last year has skyrocketed. So I just think this is, it's a moment where that's huge. And shout out to Caitlin. Still shout out to the NBA for wanting her there. Because that's the thing.
Amazing.
They didn't, even before Sabrina, they didn't really used to ask. But now this game, they recognize, they can shoot with us.
I think they used to ask, but that was before 10 years ago. That was back in that time around 2007, 2008. You will see that one of them, it was probably 3 or 4 teams, and it was always a woman on it, a WNBA player. So they would ask then. I would assume they had to ask, they had to extend an offer in some type of way. But over the last 5 years, you have seen that the NBA, that skills challenge is strictly the NBA All-Stars. I don't see the WNBA players there. If they're there, they're on the sidelines. There's nothing wrong with that. But then they asked Sabrina for the 3-point contest to join, and she joined, and she held her own. And the reason why that happened is because she blew out the WNBA. She didn't miss. You get what I'm saying, Sierra? I don't even know the stats on that. I need to check it. But she almost, if she did miss, she probably missed 1 or 2.
She almost went perfect. And that's hard to do. We don't even see that. Even Steph, that's hard. So it's solidifying that we have these shooters across the men's game and the women's.
But the NBA knew what they was doing. If they would have got Caitlin Clark, that would have been awesome for them. Yes, we know that. But it was just, I'm not taking away nothing from the NBA.
It would have been awesome for the NBA and the WNBA. It would have
been great for the W, but it's also great for the W that Caitlin Clark decided to do it for the first time. Do it where she wants to do it, at the W. Do it with the Fever. Do it there. And that's what I think Sue Bird and Megan were highlighting, that it's for the first time. You don't have to question whether you're going to do something or not, because you don't get much out of it. She's going to have the same amount, she's going to still have the same story, the same impact, no matter where she shoots. A shooter don't shoot. It doesn't matter where they do it from, Sierra. It was great for Sabrina, but now it's going to be even better for Caitlin Clark when she does it for the first time with the Indiana Fever. And I hope she goes up against Sabrina. I hope she does.
Yeah, that's what we want. We don't really care to see Caitlin against Steph. Fans want to see Sabrina versus Caitlin, to be honest. So.
And now let's talk about who's in the NBA All-Star 3-point contest. So we got Jalen Brunson, we got Kay Cunningham, we got Darius Garland. That's who I want. We got Tyler Hero, we got Buddy Hield, we got Cameron Johnson, Damian Lillard. Okay, that's another one that I want to see. And then we got Norman Powell. So the 2 people that I want to see in the finals going head to head is Darius Garland and Damian Lillard. Why Darius Garland? Because I think the Cavs, they have been so amazing this year, and this would just heighten the momentum, just put them on another level, put that chip on Darius Garland's shoulder. If he come out the 3-point contest champ, I'm a dog, and come on now, this is going to bring the rest of the momentum for the rest of the season. Damian Lillard, it's always Dame time, so I just want to see him win another one. This will be he's going to have won multiple after this one, so I just can't wait to see that. The other ones, Jalen Brunson, he's been having a great career, so I do want to see him do well. That's what I'll say about that. Who are your pick for those?
I would like to see Brunson coming out against Damian Lillard. I'm a big Dame time fan. But I like Brunson. I like this year, though, that they chose some fan favorites. Brunson has had a huge last 2 or 3 years with the Knicks. He's carried them. So, yeah, that'll be good momentum going into the rest of the season for him, for his game. So
if Lillard wins again, this will be 3 in a row from him. And that's going to be interesting, because what would be interesting if the W does do, if they, instead of Caitlin Clark, she said no, she's not going there. Let them, and not this year, because this year I think it needs to be just straight WNBA players. But after that, let the NBA players come over there. Let it be Lillard and let it be Steph. Because if Lillard wins 3 in a row, it's just showing who in the NBA has a better shot than him. And I know the only other person is probably Steph Curry, and he's not in it this year. So what do they need to do? They need to go play in the W. They need to go shoot against them for the WNBA All-Star. Why not do that?
Yeah, they need to do something. Whether they gonna tag team it with Caitlin and Sabrina.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Why not they do a tag team where they two shooters, like one shooting on the other end, or you shoot your spots, I shoot my hot spots, and then we gonna take the highest points. Just as a team.
See, those are fun. These are contests that we miss. Like, mix it up. It's a lot of basketball skills that can be showcased in these All-Star games.
Let's talk about the skills challenge really quick. Or is it we shouldn't talk about it?
I mean, we can go into it real quick. I do like this one. But you know, my only critique, they have made that where you throw the ball, they have made it so large. Who can miss that pass? See, that's what points I lost in the beginning, where at the time, they need to go back to the smaller hoop that you're throwing it into. But I do think it's...
We got 4 teams in it. We got the Cavs. We have the rookie team. They call it Team Rooks. We got the Spurs and we got the Warriors. So Draymond is in it. That's interesting. I didn't know he had a set of...
So now they doing a team style skills challenge?
Yeah, it's team style. So for the Cavs, we got Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. For the Spurs, we got Chris Paul and we got Wembanyama. So that's an interesting one. And for the Warriors, we have Draymond Green and Moses Moody. But like I said, I didn't know that Draymond had a set of skills that he could be in this challenge. I thought he was only for rebounds.
He a point guard. He a point guard on the floor.
Currently, he's scoring 8.5 points a game, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. Is that a point guard?
Yeah, it could be. I'm not saying points-wise, but we know that he's the facilitator because Steph is roaming.
Well, we'll see. The thing about him is he's not the quickest player. I ain't bashing Draymond, but the skills challenge, he got a set of skills. His skills is defense and rebounding, and he has a high IQ. Is he quick? No. The skills challenge is about being quick. That's why traditionally you see guards that are quicker win. You rarely see a post, and if you do see a post, they're kind of rooting for them a lot because it's like, the post shouldn't win this. This is about straight skills. Can you dribble the ball? Can you pass? And can you go score? And can you shoot a jump shot? That's it.
Okay, well, this will keep it interesting. They gave us a little challenge. I am excited to see this.
Who do you want to see with this one?
What was the first team that you named?
I said the first team was the Cavs. That's Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley.
Yeah, I would like to see Donovan Mitchell. I think he's a very quick guard. He can shoot, so he's exciting to watch. And
we've been talking about the NBA a lot. I think they always know what they're doing when it comes to playing into their fan favorites. Because why is Wemby is in this? They know that the fans love him. Why is he in the skills challenge? He's in it because the fans love him, and he's with who else? Chris Paul.
One of the most skilled we've ever seen.
Yeah, so that one, the NBA know that what they doing. Like, we could talk all this mess we want to talk about them and say they ain't playing hard, but the NBA, they doing all they can. It comes down to the players. Like, the NBA trying to make it a great weekend for the fans. They put Wemby in it. How is he in it? Oh, because the fans love him. They love him. Like, people want to go see him. That's why he's in it. So that's the skills challenge. Now we're going to go to Unrivaled.
All right, after seeing what happened last night and what took place in the course of this past week with Unrivaled, for the first time, we have almost seen, I don't know where else they have televised a one-on-one competition. Should the NBA adapt this? Should they bring this over into the league, into their All-Star weekend? Should they do something similar? And what are your thoughts? Real quick though, I do want to make note, and I want to give a huge shout out to everybody over at Unrivaled. This weekend, this interruption of Unrivaled has been amazing. It has been so fun to watch, entertaining. I'm watching it live, but I'm also going back and watching highlights because you got your number 8 seeds, and I don't know who did the seeding, but it's proven like, check up, you can still be beat. And that's how competitive. That takes you back to basketball. It takes you back to being a kid, where you first loved this game, where you first played this game. Who can't remember that one-on-one? Hey, I'm checking you up, Deasia. You can't remember our one-on-one battles. You can't remember your run-on-one battles with your teammate. When you don't want your teammate to beat you, you got to roll that ball out. And as soon as you get the ball, you got 3 dribbles back to the basket. Whatever you going to do in 3 dribbles, you don't got a lot of time. Everybody who's played this game, remember them moments. And for them to bring that on TV with the best players, the best women's players in the world, and them to do it, like, that's the thing. They decided to do it. You had Skylar Diggins calling shots out there. And then we know who went on to win. Phee went on to win, but I mean, come on now. I just can't tell you when I have seen better basketball that has been like, wow.
It's been amazing. It's been something amazing to watch, and just as a fan, you love it. You love to see that competitive spirit come out of so many tough players. And what I like is they had the outlet pass. I think that was interesting. That gave the bigs a time, because if they're going to dribble back, obviously, a
guard is skilling that ball.
Yeah, so they was very... They was very smart with what they did as far as the outlet pass. And I think at the last game, you saw Aaliyah Edwards. It was no surprise why she made it. I think she was the only player that I've seen that used that outlet pass in the best way. Like, she threw it, but she wasn't, like, trying to get the ball back. She was kind of like, let me take my
move
time.
Off. Let me set her up. Let me cut off this pass.
And let me cut down, come back and cut again. Oh, now I got the ball and I'm right where I need to be in the paint. I think she used that outlet pass the best. What I think Skylar Diggins did well, she didn't make it to the finals, but I think she played really the best defense out of everybody. And right. I think Phee started doing that, and that's the reason why she goes on to win. And you saw even Aaliyah Edwards tried to do it, but it was too late. But Skylar was the first one that was just saying, oh, y'all not, if I foul on the floor, that means they don't go to the free throw line. That means they don't score 2 points, because most of them was hitting free throws. So if I just foul on the floor, that stops the play. You got to reset the ball. You pass me up again, foul on the floor, stop the play. You got to reset the ball. She was the smartest out there. She didn't make it to the end, but at the last game, we saw Phee doing that. When Aaliyah Edwards would kind of like get a roll to the basket, she would foul. Basically, that's how she won. Obviously, she hit some great shots. She just has amazing footwork. She's played more seasons in the WNBA than Aaliyah Edwards. She's a smarter player. She has a touch around the rim. She has all those things that you're just looking for in a post. So that's what took her over top. She's undoubtedly better than her at this point in the stage, but I think Aaliyah Edwards, she did amazing.
Skill. She showcased her skill, but you know what was beautiful about this? Like, the people that you thought, the players that you thought, they got knocked off. It was just like a few of our picks. Skylar Diggins, she got to the second round or something. A few of our picks made it. Enrique. But it's just showing you, like, the talent. It don't matter. And we thought it was going to be more of the battle of guards versus posts. But it didn't. That's not what was proven. It was proven that you got to be in shape for this. You really had to be conditioned. And then you got to have some mental toughness. But really, it just come down to who wanted it. Like, it really came down to it. And all of these players, all of them are very talented. All of them are great players. So that's why it was so fun to watch, because you saw an 8 seed beat 2 number 1 seeds. So it was just a surprise. We was biting our nails to see who was going to win. Even in that last game, again, you had the number 8 seed player number 1. So she would have beat a number 1 seed for the third time. Like, to even get that in basketball and them to play head to head like that. Yeah, it was for the money, but they was playing because what did Phee say? Our name is attached to this. This is our reputation. And they wasn't afraid. And they were brave. They were brave to do that, because this is their brand that's on the line.
I really liked about it too is you didn't see a lot of players going outside of their role. You didn't see a big, like, Shakira Austin didn't come out going between her legs and doing a bunch of stuff. She just played her normal game. You saw Aaliyah Edwards, like, a lot of her moves were straight on shots. She was getting to the basket. Yeah, she would cross over a little bit, but
that crossover was mean. That crossover was nasty.
You didn't see her going behind her back though.
No, you ain't gonna see that. But she did hit that crossover. I'm like, ooh. If she brings that to the WDA, she got that in her bag, and that was what's shocking. Like, yeah, they didn't go outside of their talent. I mean, of what we know their skill set is, but they got some tricks up in their bag.
But a lot of them, I like to see that they play within their bag and just showing that you don't got to do a lot. Let's be honest, Phee didn't do a whole lot. She just really good. She did her money shots. She amazing at what she does. She gets to her spots. She's probably one of the best, if not the best. And she can compete with anybody as far as that, Sierra, and can win because she knows how to get to her spots and she's consistent at them. A lot of people can get to their spots, but they not even consistent. Once she get to her spot, it's money. It's money every time. Once she gets to her spot, Sierra, you can't stop her. Aaliyah Edwards let her get too comfortable in getting to her spots. She didn't do nothing fancy out there. She's not gonna be a Rike, Sierra. She's not gonna be Chelsea Gray. But she played Queen Phee, and guess what? She did what she did, and she was deep, really, really, really deep in her bag with it, and that's why she walked away with $200,000. And guess what? Aaliyah Edwards walked away with $50,000. And all the other two semifinalists, Stevens and Enrique, they walked away with $25K. So that was amazing. And then everybody that was on the Lunar Isles with Queen Phee, they walked away with $10,000. And I think this is what the NBA has to do. Like, you have to put the money behind it, and then you got to congratulate the whole team. That means that you're not just playing for yourself. You're playing for other people. And Sierra, they are hard to stop with that. That team, Sierra, the Lunar Owls are hard to stop. And when you got Queen Phee so deep in her bag like that, and she just won a 1-on-1, I just think that they're going to go on to be, well, I don't know how many games they're going to play, but maybe 15-0, 12-0. I don't know. But whatever it is, I would doubt to see them lose because they just all are locked in. They're such a family right now. Like, Skylar Diggins was cheering her on, probably giving her advice like, you need to start fouling before she gets to that free throw line. Because all of a sudden, I saw that happen. That didn't happen the first game, but they played 3 games. Remember, she started doing it.
Yeah, but you know the thing about this, it's like I said, you got to be conditioned. I think that was the downfall of Edwards in that last game. She really got tired. She got fatigued a little bit quicker than Phee did, but these are both great defensive players. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't all about the scoring. They had to go out there and play some type of defense. So that was the challenge in it. The one-on-one series, I mean, let's get back to that question, Deasia. Do you think that the NBA should do this? Can you see a head-to-head battle with your top players? That could be Anthony Edwards, Ja Morant.
Edwards would do it. Yeah, him and Ja Morant.
KD, can you see even LeBron saying, yeah, I'm going to do it? What would this do for the NBA? Would this be...
I don't see LeBron doing it because he ain't did the dunk contest. So I don't see him doing it. But I see an Anthony Edwards. I see a Ja Morant. I see even a KD because I think a lot of people got smoked with KD. If Melo was in the league, I could see him still doing it.
Just thinking about the game, who are your favorite one-on-one isolation
My favorite
players?
Isolation player would probably be, I would say Ja Morant is one of them because I think he once he gets a step on you, it's just hard to stop. Another isolation player that I really like to watch is a Kyrie. You can't stop him. And the last one I would have to say is James Harden. I think his footwork is just impeccable.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Yeah, his footwork is just impeccable, and he's left-handed, so that kind of makes him a little bit tougher to guard. And you can't make him go one way, but we know if he's going left, he's just harder to stop. But then you make him go right, and he's just so shifty. That, to me, that's just tough to stop. Kyrie, I say him because the ball is on the string, and if he's in the air, his body control is just amazing. Ja Morant already told you he gets the step, and you can't. He's going to fly out the gym, Sierra.
You know another person who can get a step on you, and that's it. Shea. If Shea get a quick step, plus he got a crazy midi, you cooked. So yeah, I can see it being exciting, and I do agree with KD. And I think he one of those players that he just love the game, just love the competition of it. So he be bringing the best out of people. So it'll be exciting. Do you think that the NBA would try it? Are the players? Is it more of a players thing than an organization thing? What you think?
I think the players got to ask for that. And we've already see that with like what Chris Brickley does with his Black Ops and how he trains them. And they do a lot of one-on-one. So I think the players would kind of look at that as practice. You got to put the money behind it so that they know that this is not just practice. This is let's play for something. And that's what Unrivaled wasn't scared to do. Let's not be confused. There was still some injuries. Like Jackie Young got hurt. And that's why I think the NBA, they shy away from that. The they take heed to that. Like, we're still going to play our best. But the NBA, they, on the other hand, they like to back away from that type of competitive spirit, as far as we're not going to put getting injured ahead of our competitiveness. But I feel like the W, they wasn't afraid to get hurt. And maybe their injuries are not as catastrophic because they don't, they don't play as long. They can come back quicker. I don't know what the issue is there, but either way, Jackie Young did get hurt. So we're not going to say that there was just no injury. She got hurt when she was playing. So that was kind of a tough break. But now I don't think she's too hurt because I see she about to play in a 2-on-2.
Well, see, I like what the WNBA doing. They keeping us entertained. They keeping it so the anticipation is there for when the WNBA rolls around in May. So I think they doing the right thing. Like, keep giving us stuff. And that's why Unrivaled has been such a huge success, because it's like the prelude of this, of this season. You end up, Deasia, what are your thoughts for the NBA? What do you think? Who do you see making a run and taking the momentum from the All-Star game? And just, do you see that being the Lakers? Do you think it's going to still be hard to beat OKC or Houston? What do you see coming out of the East? What do you think after this All-Star break?
Like what we've been saying, we already been talking about it. I see one team in the East, and that's going to be the Cavs. I think with Donovan Mitchell, if he goes off on his skills challenge, and then Darius Garland, if he wins that 3-point, at least make it to the finals against Damian Lillard. I think those two. I think that momentum, that team is just doing so well right now. They got a lot to prove. You don't want to constantly be like, the only championships we won was when LeBron was here, So they want to say that we don't need LeBron. We can win a championship for this city. And I know, like, the Cavs fans, they believe in a team. They believe in him whether LeBron is here or not. Obviously, yeah, they would love him here, but they believe in his team right now. So that's the team that I think is just going to use this All-Star break and continue on with their momentum. They've had a great season. Like, you kind of forget, wow, they like the best team in the East right now. And you would think that would be the Celtics, but the Cavs they really been playing amazing. Another team that I want to see that use this momentum is the Lakers. I want to see, because now AD, he's out with the Mavs. That injury, he's out. So I want to see the Lakers. I want them to hone in on what they got to do as far as playing small ball down the stretch, whether that's different sets, isolation, or 2-man with LeBron and Luka, whatever they got to do. I want to see them use the All-Star break and have a lot. They got a lot to prove to me, and I feel like this is a team that could win a championship if they put their heads together. As far as scoring, that's a no-brainer for them. You got Austin Reeves playing great. Another team that I think that still is hard to stop is OKC. They just had they've been having the best season all year. So you would think that they would come off this All-Star break, continue with that momentum, and just go forward and be in the Western Conference Finals. Do I think they're going to win? No. But I do think they will make it to the Western Conference Finals. Who are your picks?
I would like to see the Lakers make a run. I think that we've seen some interesting trades, and we talked about this in other episodes. Like, this has never happened in NBA history, but Luka has the spotlight now, and what better person than to share it with than LeBron? So I would love to see them make a run, but we're such Lakers fans that I just want to see them get back.
To ask me
it's kind of biased. It is biased.
I don't know how you can ask me that without me ever saying, like, I said Cavs, and I'm itching to say Lakers.
Yeah, but to be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing the Knicks make another run. I just like the organization, like the team. So I would say the Knicks, and then I like the young teams. I like OKC. And I like Houston for the West. But LeBron and the Lakers have to still get past that. So, I mean, when they match up,
they made a mistake.
my picks.
They should have got KD. That's what they should have did. So, I don't know if they got anything coming without him. I mean, they got Jalen Brunson, but I don't think that's enough.
He's proven that.
Not with the Cavs playing the way they're playing, Sierra.
Well, we'll see. We gotta, it's about to get chippy after this All-Star weekend. Okay, so that's this episode. Let's see. Let's do something fun real quick. Are you like me, C's, or are you like Dee Deasia? Tell us. Which one are you more like? If you didn't know, we're twin sisters. We are best friends. We are a lot alike, but the few differences that we have, they stand out. So tell us how you are different. So when it comes to, I love wings. I love wings. Of course, I'm probably going to be eating some this weekend, watching this All-Star game, hoping it lives up to some hype. But when it comes to wings, I'm a plain Jane. I like the regular classics, whether that's a plain wing that I'm dipping into ranch or honey mustard, or I just like the classic barbecue. But for some reason, Deasia thinks that it's good to have cheese on a wing, that Parmesan, whatever, garlic Parmesan. For some reason, she says it's good. Now, I've never tried it. And so this is another thing. Are you like me, where when you like a food and it's one of your favorite foods, you don't have to try anything else? Are you not willing to try new things? Or are you like her and do you like cheese on your wing? Tell us in the chat.
Hit us in the chat. Y'all know ain't nothing wrong with Parmesan garlic wings. Like, it's nothing wrong with it. What's the difference from blue cheese?
The fact that you're putting cheese on a wing.
Sierra, you eat blue cheese and you eat that on a wing. What is the difference?
I don't know. It's just
not like it's cheese. It's not cheese. It's a Parmesan garlic. Parmesan, Sierra.
It just looks nasty. Most of the time, it doesn't look appetizing. But anyway, this is the end of our show. This has been a fun episode. This is nothing lightly. Of course, we get real hype. We get real opinionated when it comes to this. We do not take sports lightly. We have a very, very, very extreme opinion on this sport, especially when it comes to basketball. So tell us how this episode was. Hit us in the chat. Which wing do you like? If you with me, please let me know. You just like a classic wing, or you with Dee and you'll take that nasty. I can't even say it. But anyway, this has been our episode. We'll see y'all next time.
Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube. And, hit us in the chat.
This is nothing lightly.